This is Reverend Eric, and I'm offering a new online class called The Magical Philosophy of Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. This class explores Agrippa's theory of divine light as illustrated in the 3 books of occult philosophy. Together we will examine divine light's role in interior and exterior perception, an essential foundation for understanding the practice and theory of image magic. Learn how active perception with the inner senses is core to Agrippa's magical philosophy, and learn techniques for empowering magical images using this theory of divine light. To learn more and enroll, visit arnemancy.com/classes. That's arnemancy.com/classes. I'll see you there.
Time to get real. I want to see some crazy whiz-biz.
What's the magic made out of, Ding Dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical! Maybe a terrible
Bacon pancake. Hello, Eric. I'm going to welcome you to your own show because it's called Whiz-Biz with Alex and Eric. Hello.
Why, thank you, Alex. I am super glad to be here. Are we doing NPR voice this episode?
Yeah, I suppose I could do a smooth talking kind of NPR voice.
Today on WizBiz from Alex and Eric.
I'm going to tell you about potato prices and how they're a lot more interesting than you would think.
An organic produce farmer from Idaho will tell us not only about potatoes, but about his reaction to Adventure Time Season 4, Episode 14, Sons of Mars.
You know what I found interesting about these voices? Is that mine seems to be female and you're doing the male, and I don't know what that says about us.
Well, I guess we're just slipping into the roles that made the most sense.
Hey, wait a second. How dare you be accurate?
And now for some soft jazz.
Oh, God. You know me, I only listen to jizz wailing.
Jizz wailing. All right, and now just in case, welcome to WizBiz with Alex and Eric. I'm Eric.
I'm Alex, a.k.a. Max Rebo, famous jizz wailer.
And
was that even on this show?
I have no idea what that is.
The music in Star Wars, the Cantina music, it's called It's called jizz, and they call it jizz wailing.
We talked about that last episode.
I talk about it so often, but I was pretty sure it was on this show. Okay.
Yes, anyhow, we are a podcast about Adventure Time, which you probably know already. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 14, The Sons of Mars, and Season 4, Episode 15, Burnin' Low.
Yes. Was there a previous episode
yes,
called Burning Love or Burning Something? Because that's a weird title if it's not playing off a previous episode.
Well, what were the two? We had another Flame Princess episode. We've had 2 Flame Princess episodes so far, and I suppose this is a really good time to talk about my new notebook. I just started a new notebook. My last one lasted about 2 years. One of the results of having a brand new notebook is I don't have my notes from previous episodes to look at.
Yeah, and I don't want to look.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I guess I could Google Adventure Time Burning and see if I get multiple.
And it's like, your Adventure Time has led you to gonorrhea.
Yeah. Adventure Time itching. Adventure Time, you should go to the doctor.
Adventure Time strange sores.
No, searching for burning only says burning low. So yeah,
Okay.
So I guess I mean, we're not talking about that episode yet, but when we get to it, we should really touch on the fact that that's a really weird title because it doesn't have a whole lot to do other than the word burning, a whole lot to do with the episode.
Well, and there is a lowness.
Right?
I'll have some thoughts about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready for this conversation.
Because, I mean, it feels like it'd be like burning high. Because, like, I mean, that was the whole point of the episode. Whatever. We'll get to it. Let's do a quick back and forth as we do. Eric, how have you been in the fortnight since last we recorded, as far as they know?
Oh, man. I've been good. I have continued to play the guitar, of course, and continued to be practicing jazz. I've played music with 2 different people. Sort of just jamming and stuff, and I'm getting better and more comfortable with it. And in fact, I played with my brother last night. My brother's a really good musician, and he was sort of like, "Oh wow, you've really improved a lot." And so he gave me good feedback. I got like positive feedback. So I feel kind of music high today. Like
Excellent.
I've been doing good with the music. How about you, Alex?
Well, I would like to tell everybody that you can find Eric's brother on Instagram at first name Arneson Music. I forgot your brother's name.
Nick Arneson Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good. Like I follow
is.
him. I don't really know him I've met him once, but yeah, he's a very talented musician. You'll see Eric in a video or two of his.
Yeah, he doesn't have those videos available online anymore
Oh,
because
really?
he's
Ashamed
trying
of you?
to. Well, I mean, those videos he made when he was first learning how to do video production,
Oh, okay.
and he's really good now, and he's
Yeah.
trying to do it
Oh,
professionally.
yeah,
now,
gotcha.
so. But
I understand.
yeah,
that.
those were really fun. You know, you and I do a lot of audio editing,
Yes.
but very little music editing. But
None. Yeah.
but our relationship with audio and computers is much different than somebody who does songs. So it's always really interesting seeing how he does things, like the amount of very minute detail that you spend on, 3 minutes of a song versus the like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to let this go for 20 minutes of a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like, we might look for we might do some things to make it flow smoothly, but like, I'll adjust levels once and leave it that way for the
Yeah.
entire speaker run.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just a matter of time.
It is,
You can't.
it is.
You can't. If you go that granular with a podcast, you'll put out one a year.
Yeah, I know.
I'm fine. I was telling you off air that I'm finally finishing up an editing project that I've been working on for, I think, over a year now. This monstrous 600-700 page sci-fi novel that a friend wrote, and no comments on the book, but I am very tired of editing at this point. So I'm really happy to be done with it. I'm happy I did it. Good times, good book, but oh dear Lord, that was too many words to edit that I didn't write.
Editing takes a certain kind of brain. Like, I think I've edited 3 books, and I guess I could kind of see myself doing that professionally, but not really, because it's so hard to sit down and focus on one project for that long, and it's kind of exhausting to the brain.
If I didn't have a full-time job, I could definitely see myself being a full-time editor. Like like I could do a book, but like especially a book of this size, it's just there's not enough time while also working a 40-hour work week. But if I was getting paid, yeah, I totally could do it, and it would be a little bit easier because like there's also the matter of I don't have time to both read 600 pages and edit separately. Like, so I kind of have to like read and edit at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's not the most efficient way to, I mean, that's the most efficient way to edit, but that's not the way you're going to get your
effective.
best. Yeah. It's not, you're not going to get your best results. And, I'll go back and go, oh, shit, I have to tell him something because now 2 chapters later that changes my opinion. But
And that's something that I wonder about, like, professional editors, because I know just from doing things like writing book reviews or things like that in the past, you have to learn how to speed read. And you have to be effective at it. Like, you have to kind of be able to do a deep read and a speed read at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly tricky and takes a lot of practice to keep up. But editing requires a closer read than reviewing. Right?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
totally. Yeah.
Especially when you're editing like the structure of a book, you have to keep that whole novel in your mind so that you can be like, oh wait, I think this chapter should go here. Oh wait, these paragraphs, like that's really, really tough to do.
Yeah. It's hard to keep it all steady, especially when you're doing it kind of as an amateur. But
Yeah, when you can't just do like, I'm going to spend my entire month on this.
yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have read the whole thing and then gone back and done it chapter to chapter. But like, I think there's the way we did it was interesting. And I think it came out well. So he was basically sending me chapters as he was finishing them. I mean, he's been working on this for literally 20 years. Like, so this is a very polished draft.
Yeah.
But he was basically incorporating my thoughts on style and whatever in chapters as he's editing the chapters later. So like there was like almost this like recursive thing that like echoed what my previous comments were. So by the end of the book, like the last chapter, I probably had 17-page chapter. I probably had 5 notes on it, which is, most of them were like comma, use a different word, like, just really, really minimal stuff. So it's interesting. Hey, that's enough about that. This is not,
Okay.
This is not editing biz. Let's
So,
talk about,
I have something to say to you then.
What?
Grob, gob, glob, grod.
Yeah, you know what? I believe that you're the true coward, hiding from sincere expressions like a vampire in the nude, hiding from the light. So we're talking about...
I escaped my bottle prison, and now my prison is shame.
Exactly. So we were talking about the hit AMC show Sons of Anarchy on this episode. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Grob, Gob, Glob, and Grod are a biker gang from outer space.
Yes. Hey, wait, is that the mom from Married with Children? Yeah, we're talking about Sons of Mars.
Yes.
The season 4, episode 15-ish, depending on where you are.
When I see the title of this episode, I am reminded of a really amazing episode of Rome called Son of Hades, where
I don't
one of the
remember that
main
one. I mean, I saw Rome, but I don't remember that one.
I
off the
just
top of my head.
remember enjoying that episode because one of the main characters who's had a really rough time, the smart one, the blonde main character. You know, there's like the smart one and the dumb one, the two gladiators.
Yes.
So the smart one in one of the seasons, like his wife's left him, all this bad stuff has happened, like his whole life is sort of fallen apart, and he kind of becomes a crime lord for a short period of time, and at some point he claims to be a son of Hades, which I thought was kind of a...
That's cool. That
Yeah.
sounds very familiar. When I see that, I think of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, now a Disney Plus program.
So this episode is, I think, one of the best ones in this season. It has a number of really amazing central characters. It has some plot development that ends up being resolved sort of a few seasons down the line. And it introduces kind of as an actual character, Grob Gob Glob Grod.
Yes.
Yeah.
And immortal Abraham Lincoln as the president of Mars.
Yeah,
which
even
I don't-
though he doesn't make it.
Yeah, but I don't remember if he's been introduced before, but like this is certainly the most he's done on the show.
I think this is the first time we see the King
Okay.
of Mars.
I love this episode. It's terrific.
Yeah.
I just have one small distraction, and it's just one of those things that like being made aware of it
Mm-hmm.
on a kind of a feminist level. And I make fun of this on John Alex Hate Stuff constantly, is I am very tired of every fucking guy's backstory being, oh, my wife died. And Magic Man turning out, hey, what's your backstory? Oh, it turns out his wife died. I mean, maybe not died, but whatever. It's every fucking, like, come up with something new. And I get it, it's a kid's show. I should be that annoyed, but
Well, I would like to
something
say,
else.
I think, though, that Magic Man is presented as a contrast to Ice King, right? So Magic Man's a character that was introduced much later in the show than Ice King was, so they were able to maybe take him a little bit more seriously when they developed the character.
yeah.
They're both played by Tom Kenny, and Magic Man has a tragic woman backstory past combined with so it's madness, sadness, and magic, including a magic hat that turns him crazy into a wizard. Except Magic Man is like deadly and way more serious of a mad wizard than Ice King.
Yeah, that's fine. I just come up with a better backstory. Especially because later you find out Simon's backstory is, oh, yeah, I lost my wife.
Well, he didn't lose his wife.
Well, he kind of did. He went nuts because, he missed Betty or whatever.
No, that's not why he went nuts.
That's why he keeps calling everybody princess. Remember, we established this in previous episodes.
No,
he
no.
goes nuts for the crown, but I'm just saying that's a massive contributing factor.
Well, I mean, the Betty thing was a contributing factor, but he had to put on the crown and go nuts because of trying to take care of Marceline.
Yeah, but and
Betty was already gone by then.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, he didn't know, but I mean, the reason he got into magic was to get her back because she disappeared. Remember, she disappears to try to save him in the past, and he doesn't know what happens to her until
Right.
way later. Yeah,
Right.
And
but he'd already gone into magic by then.
Yeah, that's fine. But I mean,
Yeah.
it gets deeper. But more Fiona and Cake. He's a depressed fuck because he's like, I miss Betty. I don't know what to do. I might as well become the Ice King again.
Okay,
Yeah.
but at that point,
I'm just saying, stop whining about your dead ex.
I'm just saying, like, you're glossing over a lot of stuff.
I know, but still, the fundamental thing.
Ice King's relationship with Betty is way more complicated.
Yeah. We found that out later.
I'm just telling you, you're wrong. Wrong, Alex. Wrong.
I mean,
wrong.
It's an interesting point to make, pointing out someone's wrong while being wrong yourself. It's like a recursive kind of thing, and it's an interesting kind of editorial tactic.
Wait, how am I wrong?
It's the things I just said. No. Obviously, Ice King's not as straightforward, but just my wife died. Now I'm X. Or my daughter died. Now I need revenge. Or whatever. It's like I just annoyed at masculine archetypes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying, and it is a really annoying thing. Like,
it's constant.
every time a strong male character loses a woman, he turns sad and vengeful. But when a strong female character loses a man, she doesn't. She might mope a little bit, but then she'll be like, I'm getting on with my life. Everything's going to be cool. I'm going to go be a mom, and I'm going to do blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I talk about it on Jaws a lot, but like this is like it annoys me because it's that the very American thing where like, there's like kind of bloodlust right-wing people where they're like, oh yeah, break in my house, see what happens. And like all it is like, you just really want to murder someone. Like that's all you're saying right now.
Yeah.
And it like ties into that of just like, oh man, like it's almost like they want their wife to die because like finally I can just go nuts and start murdering people, or like I can become a magic, a psychotic magic man.
Yeah, in Magic Man, so Magic Man's story arc, are we allowed to like do long-term spoilers in this?
I mean, we are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. So
let's do it.
Oh no, I was going to say we should kill a fat German boy, but yeah, we could do this too.
I mean, if Magic Man was a fat German boy. So Magic Man started out as King Man. He was the previous king of Mars. He put on the hat to try to save Margles, or to try to bring Margles back from the dead, perhaps. Is she dead?
No, I think she's like insane in some variety on top of that mountain.
Yeah, I think she sacrificed herself in some way to save Mars, and he thought he could fix her.
Yeah, or something like that.
If he used the magic hat. So he becomes Magic Man, who's just like possibly the worst wizard villain, but luckily doesn't show up a whole lot. I'd be annoyed if Magic Man was used more. He's a little too powerful, I think.
I don't disagree with that, but I mean, I agree with you. My reason that I'd rather him not show up as often is, and I love Tom Kenny. I think he's a brilliant voice actor. I don't think his portrayal of Magic Man is right.
Oh.
It's just a little...
It's very showman-y.
Yeah, and it doesn't, and I don't think Tom Kenny pulls it off. So like Andy Daly, who on this show plays the King of Ooh, I think would have done a better Magic Man. It like he's got like a little more dumb, a little more like, I don't know, there's a little more human in it, like him also being like, oh, I'm a massive magic user, also I'm into show too. There's like a certain,
I think,
too much aspect.
Yeah. So anyhow, later on, Magic Man does get cured, and he does have the hat removed by Betty, and he turns into Normal Man, where he loses all his magic powers and he ends up getting beat up a lot. So Magic Man does have like a character arc, a lot of which kind of happens, even though it seems like it should be super significant, aside from his interactions with Mars, it's kind of background stuff, which is really interesting. But anyhow, this episode, it's just such a delight.
This episode has one of my favorite things, and two of my favorite things, is off-screen stuff that's stupid. And Finn and Jake, we get introduced to them, and they're just carrying a robot that they just beat up for some reason. And it's like a buff robot, which is hilarious. And then later in the episode, they're on Mars, and they go, it's the dog, the one you were prophesied to meet.
Yeah.
I love off-screen, like, that reference. Like, there's such a serious prophecy about Abraham Lincoln was going to meet a dog at one point. It's so stupid.
I mean, maybe it's Abraham Lincoln. But I mean, and then it turns out that dog is the reason that Abraham Lincoln dies.
Yeah. Do you think that's Abraham Lincoln?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I was reading some background on the episode, and it turns out that there was a cut scene where Death took the King of Mars back in time to the Ford Theater so he could be assassinated.
Oh.
And that's how his immortality is ended.
Interesting. So what happened the first time? Like when at Ford's Theater, like...
I guess he didn't get assassinated. I don't know. I wasn't there.
He should have been, though.
And
I'm finding it slightly suspect. Eric, I just wanted you to say Six Semper Tyrannis for a second.
Six Semper Tyrannis?
Ha-ha! It was you!
But, yeah, so it is supposed to be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I assumed as much, but it's hard to make that math work. I mean, I know we're dealing with a very stupid show on a lot of levels, but like a guy that's been dead for hundreds of years plus 1,000 years and also on Mars, it's like, that's a hell of a story.
I love the line, run through me like moonlight through the ghost days.
Yes. Yeah. Which was my favorite line in the episode is glob, grod, god, blah, bloop, 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 is flying after Magic Man. And the one says, I'm going to activate the thingy that drains his magic juice. I just love the level of unspecificity of that. It's like when I think it's season 1 where PB was using like science jargon. It's like kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm going to do the thingamabob that does the stuff. And the dial turn guy.
And then I love when they're back on Mars and the King of Mars is like, turn on the dark. Instead of turn out the lights.
Yes, turn on the dark is fun.
I like the Mars thing. I like that they go to Mars. And this isn't the only time they do. They go to Mars a couple other times.
Yeah.
There's a couple like really poignant things in this episode that that might seem like if this episode was just a throwaway, it wouldn't be so significant. But one of them is that Grob Gob Glob Grod is our Magic Man's older siblings. And so that's kind of interesting. And then the other one is there's the platform that can send you to Mars. And the way it works is by thinking about somebody you love.
Yeah, which is why Magic Man can't use it.
Yeah, and he sort of has this whole thing where he's like, it's not going to work. It broke. It stopped working shortly after he got here. Like, I can't use it anymore, which really, I think, is a sad but important insight into, like, the nature of Magic Man.
Yeah, he's a sad sack piece of shit. Rest in piss, asshole.
Yeah.
The Wand of Disbursement is hilarious, which is the wand that they were going to disperse Magic Man's consciousness into the eternity of the universe, and it's going to be a magical journey.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's actually Jake, because Magic Man has done the old switcheroo with their bodies. But I love Jake going like, yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool. Yeah, like I'm signing up for that. Like it's like,
but then he's
big...
like, but I'd miss Finn, and he'd miss me.
I just like Jake's willing to just go with anything. He's like,
yeah,
on one hand I'll be like totally dead, but I mean, infinite cosmos and a weird journey of discovery. I mean, that sounds
which
pretty
is
cool.
something he said before that he wants.
Yeah. So here's the question on the wizard side of this, on the esoteric weirdness that we're meant to be discussing. So Abraham Lincoln goes to the 37th dead world.
Yes.
And gets Jake back. He trades his immortal soul for Jake to come back. What does that mean for the cosmos as we understand it? That's the 37th dead world. Like, what is... Or is it a multiverse? Is it the 37th iteration of the dead world? Does the dead world keep getting...
See, that's such a good question. Like, I don't know that they thought about that when they made this.
Yeah.
I know that Jesse Moynihan did help with the artwork in this episode, which I think is pretty obvious.
Yeah, Mars looks like their stuff.
You know, later on in Fiona and Cake, we discovered that there is a multiverse, and it is kind of being ruled over. It's big and complicated. I don't know... Is death in every multiverse?
Yeah,
we had this conversation with the Nightosphere stuff.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm trying to... Because now that they called out the 37th, you have to wonder, or are there just 37 of them? And then if Jake dies on Earth, does he also go to the 37th? I
don't know, but we did see the Death Worlds in that Distant Lands episode.
Yeah.
So they did make a trip through them, but I don't think there were there that many? I don't remember the details.
Yeah, I don't either. At one point, Finn says, "Eat my skid," which is terrific.
Pretty gross.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of insightful notes on here other than this episode rules. It's really fun.
Yeah, and it sets up some important stuff for later. You know, having Death back is cool. Like he does end up being more significant later on, and he's still played by Miguel Ferrer.
Yeah, so he's played by Miguel Ferrer here. What's interesting though is that Death becomes mute as the show goes on because Miguel Ferrer died, and they didn't want to recast them.
Yeah.
And by interesting, I'm pretty sure I've said this 8 times on the show already, but I'm saying it again. It's somebody's first episode.
Another really interesting turn in this episode, one that I don't know that I really noticed before this watch, was when Finn and Magic Man get back to his filthy hovel. Yes. And he's like, "Oh, there's a thing that works. I don't know where it is. It'll never work. It stopped working after I got here." It's not until Finn finds the picture of King Man and Margles, and Magic Man catches a glimpse of it. Once he sees that, he's like, "Oh, it's downstairs. Come with me."
Yeah.
Like there is still a glimmer of hope. Like there is still something in there, and you can see that that's probably what Grob Gob Glob Grod was hoping would start to take over and turn and help heal Magic Man. But it never worked. But
yeah, you have to question how good their utopia is that they could produce someone like him.
It wasn't a utopia.
No, that's what I mean. They say it is in this episode,
right? But and they didn't produce him. The Hat did. He was the king originally. But
there was no king before that?
We don't know.
But that's what I mean. So if there is a utopia, this brilliant, because they call it a Martian utopia or whatever in this episode, one presumes that the leadership structure has been that way to make a utopia, intimating that the king crown at some point was on someone that made a utopia with the king crown on.
Yeah, but the Magic Man hat is not the crown.
Where'd that hat come from?
I don't remember. We'll find out in a different episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just saying. I think there's a little suspect. I think this is like a money laundering scheme.
Maybe there's no such thing as a utopia.
I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
saw that show though.
I mean, I think we find out in the next episode that even the Candy Kingdom isn't a utopia. We know the Candy Kingdom isn't a utopia.
Candy Kingdom is a fucking it's a David Lynchian nightmare horror.
I feel like maybe Slime Kingdom might be the closest thing to a utopia. There's never any conflict there. We never have to go to Slime Kingdom to fix anything, except during the Elementals story arc.
Yeah, let's see. What other could there be? Yeah, they all kind of suck.
Wildberry Kingdom might be good. Breakfast Kingdom, I guess, is what it. No, wait. Breakfast Kingdom is something else.
Yeah, Breakfast Kingdom will be good. Yeah, I think you're right. I guess I think living on the outskirts of Candy Kingdom would be fine. Like where Finn and Jake are, I think are probably the best bet.
Except for the taxes.
Yeah, whatever. They got gold. So let us move on from this episode unless you have more notes.
Yeah, the only other thing I want to mention is that Abraham Lincoln, a.k.a. the King of Mars, was voiced by Pendleton Ward, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I could hear that.
Ooh, and one more thing. There's speculation. So right at the beginning of the episode, when Grob, Gob, Glob, Grod, Gob, Grob, you know.
Jesus
is flying towards Ooh to catch Magic Man. He takes a random stag and magics it into a telescope.
Yes.
And there's speculation that that's the stag, the Hans stag from No One Can Hear You.
Oh, that's fun.
But I mean, it's never obvious, and we never really see that.
Yeah, but why not? Yeah. I'm good with it.
Yeah. So I think that's about all I've got for this episode too. So
excellent.
That leads me to our show's eternally second most important question.
What's the first most?
I don't know. I'm just leaving room.
Oh,
the first most is who won these episodes.
Yeah, that's true. We can't do that yet, though.
Yeah, the second most important is Alex. Have you found any shiny rocks lately?
If by shiny rocks you mean words I like, boy howdy, sort of. I only have one actual word and then like a couple other things. So let's do the word first, because I'm pretty sure in your position as I don't want to give any more hints than that. I'm pretty sure you'll know this word.
Okay.
But I didn't. Encomium. 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 That M might be wrong. Wait, I feel like that spelling might be. No, I must have copy pasted, but that spelling feels wrong. No, that's right. I just feel like there should have been an N in there.
Encomium.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, I know what that is. That's the rare earth metal that combs are made out of.
Yes. Avatar 3 is going to be based around that.
Right.
Yeah.
Encomium. Yeah. They
gave up on unobtainium.
They go to the hair planet,
and then they go to encomium. They comb their little tails with it.
So what is encomium?
So the reason I didn't want to give away, I felt like this might be a word that Masons use, but I guess not. Encomium is a speech or piece of formal writing that praises something or someone highly.
Huh.
Like to give an encomium. And I just feel like, not that, I mean, I'm totally guessing, but that just doesn't that feel like something that there'd be like a Masonic thing that like,
it
and
really
now
does.
the encomium. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a cool word. I'm actually kind of glad you don't know it, because like in my head I was like, oh, is this one of those really common ones that I just didn't like? What was the one for the other week? Swale, or just like sword. I was just like,
oh, sward. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't believe I didn't know that word.
That's super common.
No, but I thought it was going to be super common. And the fact it was in Robert E. Howard was the reason I knew you would know it, because you read those. Okay, so that's encomium. And
okay.
We have, I would like you to choose between a funky thing, a neologism, and a internet data thing.
When you say internet data thing, do you mean like Twitter? Do you mean like Bumble, where you're dating a thing, or do you mean like data?
Data thing. Yeah.
Like,
no, not data thing. Like we're not dating objects.
Oh,
I mean, you can. I'm not stopping you. It's just not in this. Not in this.
Let's do then the first one.
Okay, weird thing.
Weird thing
is I found a in quotes new created language, which I find really interesting, called Tokipona.
Tokipona.
Yeah, Tokipona. And it is translated to the language of good, essentially.
Ooh.
So it's created by Sonia Lang. She is a Canadian linguist. And the idea of it is that...
A cunning linguist?
She is a cunning linguist. She hangs out with that little man in a boat on a daily. It is supposed to be a language with the smallest number of words and the smallest number of words to get across your point. It's supposed to be like the easiest thing. So essentially there's the 137 essential words, and that's essentially the entire language.
Right.
And there's some slight other additions to it, but essentially that's the thing.
Okay.
And
tell us some words.
yes, just the letter A is ah, ha, o, ooh, ah, and well, as in the emotion well, feeling well. Akisi, that is a non-cute animal, like a reptile or amphibian.
Okay.
Ala, A-L-A, so that as a modifier, it's no, not, none, or un. So taking all of those, and it's just ala.
So ala kisi would be a not non-cute animal.
I don't know how double negatives work, but that logically, yes. The noun would be nothing, negation, or zero, which all makes sense. But you're taking all those, and as an interjection, you can say that means no.
Allah.
Yeah. Alasa is hunt, gather, forage. Let's skip out of the A's. Wait, give me a letter. That's not A.
Let's do K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no C's. So K. We've got, let's start with the top here. We got Kala. That's just fish or sea creature.
Okay.
That's all of them. Kalama. Actually, guess what Kalama is. I think you might be able to guess it.
Kalama. Is it land creature?
No.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Pretend you didn't hear the word for fish. Now, just based on this, what does the word Kalama mean?
Disaster.
Oh, you went the other way. No, it's sound, noise, voice.
Oh,
like calamitous. I mean, they're not doing Latinate roots. I think a lot of these are just made up.
calamity. I went calamity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's you're but it feels right? Kalama. It's also make noise is the verb, and then sound, ring, or play an instrument is kalama. So you see how they're just kind of like, it's very broad, like it mean everything. So the next word is a great broad one, comma, which is come, become, arrive, happen, pursue actions to arrive to, manage to, start to. As a noun, event, happening, chance, arrival, beginning. As a modifier, coming, in the future. And VT, bring about, summon. Verb, transit, what's VT?
Transitive verb, yeah.
Okay. Bring about or summon. Which is cool, because it's like, you can see how that would make sense. I mean, it's a little bit like caveman speak. I just think it's super interesting. Give me one more letter, I'll give you some more.
Let's do P.
P. Comes after O, if I remember correctly. Okay, guess what Oko is?
Oko?
Oko. O-K-O.
Oko. No idea. No clue.
Eye.
Oko.
Yeah, like ocular or
you're talking about eyeball.
Yeah, eye, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you thought it meant eye. Like
not a pronoun.
No, sorry. Yeah, it's eyeball. Olin.
Olin. Oil? No,
it's the last half of your co-host's last name, you fucking asshole.
That's Bolin.
Yeah, I said the last half. Bolin. Olin is love, or to love.
Oh.
Olin. It kind of makes sense. I'm just going to choose a random one. We're going to go with while, which is to want, need, wish, have to, must, will, or should. As a noun, desire, need, or will. As a modifier, necessary.
So how did she design the language?
I think she's just like a Ponzi linguist that came across it.
Came across it?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to read, and my sentence went sideways. I was hoping you picked up on the fact that I just said something fucked up and would go with it. You shouldn't have picked up on that. But I was trying to, because I'm like, I can't exactly remember what the basis on it. I think the idea was that it's basically she just broke down the most common phonemes for thing, and then just got to like a minimalist language from that, and just tried to combine as many words with similar words. I think it was just kind of like, elbow grease, like as a linguist. Yeah.
And how popular is language?
It is not at all. I think the users are 50 to 5,000 as of 2001.
Wow.
I mean, 5,000 isn't nothing. There's also a reference here, and I haven't looked this up, so I'm sorry if this goes nowhere. But do you know what the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis is?
I do know the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis.
Oh, what is it?
The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis is that we are incapable of thinking about things that we don't have language to describe.
Yes, that's right.
But
yeah.
it's been proven wrong.
Yeah. But I think she was referencing like this as kind of like a way around it or something. And anyway, the point is, Tokipona, really interesting stuff. Not going to bother to learn it. And I'm going to give you one more really short thing just because I thought it'd be, it's a funny neologism. Can you just look at this?
Nope.
Okay, what does that say?
Yuo kana ride tais.
But you can read this.
You can read this. Yeah.
So it's funny. So what they're calling that is typoglycemia.
Really?
Like based on hypoglycemia, like I think like hyperlipidemia.
Uh-huh.
So and the idea is that it's that words that are spelled very wrong but immediately recognizable.
Well, I mean, so that's interesting too, and that's sort of a function of the fact that English isn't a consistently spelled language.
Yeah.
So we learn to sight read words as pictograms.
Exactly. Yeah. And
So-
this plays on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you ever learn how to speed read, like you don't actually read, you're just kind of like it's almost like looking at a photo.
Yeah. You the whole idea is you don't say the word.
Yeah.
We tend to read we read to ourselves in our heads. But with speed
like
reading, what
internal
you do
voice.
is you learn to just look at the word and let the word exist without having to read it.
That's the way I read naturally, like, but like halfway. So like if I'm in the zone, I don't read the words. It's just kind of like going in my brain. But then sometimes when I'm not like on it, I will kind of like sound them out. I'm like, man, this feels like it's taking forever today.
So I kind of have a different experience with that. I enjoy, I learned how to speed read more than 15 years ago. Time keeps moving.
Yeah, know to do that.
But in learning how to speed read, I discovered that I kind of enjoy the slower form because I kind of enjoy the art of language. I kind of like sitting with it a little bit. So
100% agree, which is why I like audiobooks, which I never liked audiobooks before, but like 100%, it forces me to listen to it at the exact speed the motherfucker's reading. I can't escape it. I can't do I'll just skip this paragraph, which I find myself doing in like George R. R. Martin and stuff where I'm like, I know nothing's happening here. I'm just going to cut up his head.
There's I don't know if this has ever been proven true, but there's this thing that I've read a couple times that says that like before the printing press, people didn't read silently. Reading was always out loud.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's an interesting development over time for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of segues, let's talk about the episode Burning Low.
I mean, we could just segue into it, but bro, you gotta let things take their natural path.
Nah, man. I'm like a straight step 15 kind of fella.
Oh God. Do not do tier 15.
What do you think tier 15 is? Do you think that's like mushing genitals?
Well, I think it's got to be past it because I think there's already something in there about mush and genitals. And there's also the tier, what was it, like tier 9, where it's like, make sure you got the next day off because you're going to have to sit down and think about what you've done.
Oh, I wonder if we have different edits. That wasn't in the episode I watched.
Oh, I think he might mention that in a different episode.
Oh,
That's
okay, because I'm like, oh, that was not in the one. Yeah, tier 8 is touch your horn for the very first time.
Right, which is definitely sex. A handy.
No, he's talking because he also says because tier 5 is touch all 15 feet of her long, beautiful stomach.
Yeah,
obviously he's just talking about him and Princess Rainicorn.
Discover all 15
Oh yeah, that's right.
feet.
Yeah. My mistake. Yeah. Anyway, so this episode is based around Finn and Flame Princess's blossoming love affair, and I just need to get it out of the way because I've said it before. I'll say it again.
I have it written down here. I know Can I predict what you're about to complain about?
Please do, because you know.
You are going to complain about the fact that Flambeau isn't there to cast protection from fire.
Or anybody cast protection from fire. It is so frustrating because this is like an 80s sitcom where it's like a conversation would solve everything. I hate those stories. And I don't hate this. This is a perfectly good episode, but that just hangs over the head of it. It's like, why did you show that there's an easily accessible spell that would, one, stop the world from being fucking destroyed, let Finn kiss without getting third-degree burns on his face. Like, oh man, that annoys me. It's just, it's a pall over every single episode, and it's the most annoying things about Flame Princess episodes until she starts rapping, and then I forget about it immediately, because that is dog shit, but we're not there yet.
Okay, I have a question, though.
But please, I would love to give you an answer.
This is an politics-related question. This episode opens with Flame Princess and Finn on a date being chaperoned by Jake.
Yes.
When Finn and Jake come back to the treehouse, Princess Bubblegum is inside the treehouse scooping gold and gems into a bag. And they're like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just collecting taxes. And I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on one enormous crappy second. Princess Bubblegum broke into their house to collect taxes. They don't even really live in the Candy Kingdom. I just want to know, is this just more proof that Princess Bubblegum is a bad guy?
I have two answers to that. One, I believe she wouldn't have broken in. I think the door's either unlocked or BMO would let her in gladly. So let's just take that off the
BMO
table.
wasn't there.
BMO was there.
He wasn't watching.
No, not in that room at that time, but you don't know what happened off screen. She's probably been there for a while. BMO could have came down and be like, okay, you can come in, and then he goes upstairs and skateboards.
Oh,
but,
man.
Secondarily, yes, it does prove she's a villain. Like, that's also true. But I was just taking away, she was not breaking and entering. She was entering lawfully and then thieving.
So we never see any other Candy Kingdom residents with gold.
Well, so we've talked about the economy of Ooh a little bit in the past, how gold would have absolutely no value, except that she's kind of sciencey, and gold has a lot of value in like in wiring and shit
and
like
electronics,
that.
yeah,
Electronics.
yeah.
So like, also, can you think anybody else in the Candy Kingdom that's making any kind of real cash? I mean, they're all a bunch of fucking dummies walking around smacking into shit. So,
and also, I mean, it sucks to be a Candy Kingdom to be a candy person, because basically you're really just a serf.
Yeah. And
Princess
also,
Bubblegum created you so that you could work.
And they kind of work for her, so you could just kind of take the taxes out in the first place.
True.
I mean, I know they're getting shit from dungeons or whatever, but leave that on the side. That's like Bitcoin. Don't fucking ask me about it.
This is Candy 3.0, man. Candy 3.0.
Yeah, Candy Coin.
Oh, I have an aside.
Okay.
I have a story.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I played music with my brother yesterday. He lives way on the other side of town. So last night, I took a lift home from his house. My Lyft driver was a crypto bro, conspiracy theorist, and a mild anti-Semite.
Hell yeah. What do you think about the last episode of Rogan?
He did not talk about
surprising.
Rogan. It came up because, I like it when Lyft drivers ask, like, oh yeah, how's your night going? And, so I told him, like, oh yeah, I was just playing music with my brother. And he's like, oh, what do you guys play? And talked about it a little bit. And he's like, I don't write music, but I do, I'm a lyricist. I'm like, okay. He's part of a Web 3.0, which is cryptocurrency web role-playing game. And his character is a pirate. And he had pirate rap that he had written from the point of view of his pirate character that was pro-cryptocurrency and anti-capitalist.
Wow.
And he played me MP3s of it.
No shit. Was it any good? Wait. Before you answer that, any good, given the description you just gave, for that being the genre, was it any good? No,
Okay.
Obviously it's not good.
Let me say that, that I'm not a really good understander of poetry, right? Like, you have a better grasp on poetry than I do.
Yeah, I literally have a degree in it. I should also.
His rhyme scheme was basically A B B B B B B B, and his lines were each approximately 4 syllables long.
Oh, that's tough.
So it was really, really bad. But it got worse because we ended up getting stuck in traffic because there was a freight train that was there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he started telling me about the other crypto bros in his group, and he started to get into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories around 9/11.
Okay.
And I had to be like, oh God, I can't trigger this guy I don't want to turn him into what do conspiracy theorists call it? I didn't want to turn him into a lunatic, murderous, rampaging weirdo. So I kind of steered him away from that. It was difficult. He had a lot of white savior ideas about how his crypto bros knew what was going on and what people really wanted and stuff. So we got stuck behind that stupid train for like 10 extra minutes, and that Lyft drive ended up costing me $10 extra. So I got stuck in a Lyft car with an anti-Semitic crypto bro conspiracy theorist, and it cost me money to do so, extra money to do so.
I know it's
and
pure
Princess Bubblegum takes taxes.
I know it's pure irony or whatever, but you know who makes the trains run? I think you know.
Steve Gutenberg?
Okay, on a dumb note, very, very quickly, I have a really dumb pirate joke I want to tell you.
Okay.
What is a pirate's favorite letter?
R?
Nah, you think that his first love be the C.
Oh.
Really dumb joke. Okay, so yeah, we got the tears of thing, Finn loving up on Flame Princess by hugging. Kind of getting the kissing.
It was so cute when they both blushed.
Yes, but whatever. I'm not going to talk about the fucking, blue spell again. If you are wrapped up in aluminum foil or tin foil, if you want to be like that, or aluminium foil, if you want to be from England, I feel like you would be baked terrifically.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that is not good. Like you need some what's that shit that gives you lung cancer? Yeah, asbestos. Yeah, you need some fucking asbestos up in that shit. Not just like he's making himself a human baked potato.
He is, but the hug is fast, so
it's fine. Okay. It is really cute. They make a great couple, but it turns out Princess Bubblegum is drawn differently in this episode. I think maybe
I noticed that,
and the
artwork is a little.
I like her model in this a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of her later model. I think it looks really cool.
It's interesting. I think I noticed that art change also, but I think they also did it because they had some really close shots of both Princess Bubblegum and Finn.
Yeah.
In this episode during some sort of emotional moments, and I wonder if they just they'd never done that with
I'm
Princess
sure that's
Bubblegum
part of it.
before.
Yeah. They changed her coloring is slightly different too, but it looks good. But anyway, she tries to explain to Jake that Finn and her getting together would cause her to essentially go thermonuclear and destroy the world. And Jake stops paying attention and hears, "Oh, you're jealous," because Finn doesn't like you anymore, which is very cute. And we find out that Jake has regular video conference calls with President Porpoise via BMO, which is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
And also Princess Bubblegum does ride home with Morrow, her giant crowned eagle. There's also a really, really great line where Princess Bubblegum's kind of prying a little bit. Like, there's a classic sort of, sitcom-esque misunderstanding in this episode that Princess Bubblegum is jealous. When she's not really.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she probably is a little bit, but not really. But there's this great line where Jake's like, "That's private business, PB. You got to stay out of a man's P-biz." Yeah,
that's good. There's a whole dating thing. Finn writes a sappy poem. My boy, like to hear that.
Say something about her spectrum.
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah, that's good. And then there's my favorite spot in this episode
is the bacon pancake song.
Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancake.
My second favorite spot in this episode is when PB starts talking to Finn and he doesn't understand that she's trying to tell him about Flame Princess is going to completely erupts, and he's like, "Oh my God, she likes me again. This is fucked up. My little kid brain." But the look on his face and her face when she has her hand on his knee, and he's going nuts. But you see that she's desperate in a different way. And I'm like, I really like that, because we were just saying I don't like this misunderstanding, but that's a perfect just two stories happening simultaneously, and the art style is really well done.
There were two spots in this episode that I really loved that were related to that. One of them is when Jake gets all protective of Finn and is telling PB that she needs to back off.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't the time. He cried for you. Like, you broke his heart, and now you're just rubbing his face in it. Like, he gets so righteously protective of Finn. I thought that was just really, really well done. And that scene you were talking about where Finn actually stands up for himself. It shows real maturity on Finn's part, that he was able to stand up for himself and finally tell Princess Bubblegum how he felt, even if it was he told Princess Bubblegum the truth.
And so Flame Princess does go a little thermonuclear, and much like an argument with your girlfriend in real life, asphyxiating her stops the argument. And that's a lesson.
How
that
many episodes have you been waiting to tell that joke?
I mean, I gotta be honest, I literally just thought about that about 4 seconds ago.
I swear. We'll ask the audience. Who believes that?
I put kiss equals world ending, no oxygen, jealous, shut up. I like the PB model in this. That's my last notes. There were I just thought of it now. I'm like, oh, that's a horrible thing to think. I'm going to tell everybody about it. So everything works out well.
I do like that jealous. Shut up.
Oh, Finn. What?
Jealous.
Shut up.
Yeah, and that's the end of the episode. It turns out that PB actually probably is a little jealous. This isn't only about the thermonuclear thing.
Yeah, I think she is a little bit.
Yeah, which is, a different aspect to her, kind of lightening her up a little bit, which, it goes on as the show goes on. She actually becomes a character that has, actually expressive love and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because also, now we get back into he's still 13 and you're even if you're not 1,000, you're 27.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
But whatever, it's literally last human on Earth. Who's going to prosecute you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no human lawyers left.
Yeah, and coming in front of Judge Butterscotch is the pedophile.
The princess.
yeah. Oh, PP, pedophile princess. Yeah, that's a good episode.
So let's go back to the Bacon Pancakes song.
Oh yeah.
So I have a long history with this song. Like I used it as my ringtone for years.
Oh really? That's fun.
And then it's in our theme, or it's in our intro music. But I have heard the Bacon Pancakes song so many times that I actually now make bacon pancakes every once in a while.
Nice.
And in fact, I think I told you last spring I made gluten-free bacon pancakes.
Now, did you mix a bacon up and put them in the pancakes? Making pancakes?
Well, it turns out Jake's recipe isn't an awesome way to do it. You have to
get mad and throw a box of pancake mix at your friend?
Sometimes.
Okay, yeah. You're welcome to. I think it'd be funny. Just don't hit me in the head.
Okay. I mean, you wear black. You wear all
that's
black
where the
all
funny.
the time.
That's where the funny would be. I just don't want to catch a corner on my eyeball.
Right.
Yeah,
totally understand.
Yeah.
I would. You know what would be better? I could throw a bag of pancake mix.
Oh, that's
great.
great. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah. The best way that I've found to do it is to get like the really thick cut bacon, or even bacon ends, chop them into little pieces, fry them up really well, then mix them in with the batter. That's the best way to do it.
That is how I make my omelets. Is I'll get what you called Minecraft bacon, that really, really thick bacon. You saw it in my fridge and called it Minecraft bacon.
Oh.
I thought it was funny. I mix that in with the eggs first and then do an omelet instead of like folding it in. I think it works better.
Yeah.
That is all I have to say about this episode, other than it's a really good one, other than the complete lack of that blue spell that would.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, in terms of overall plot stuff, one of the things that's very interesting about this episode is that two of the elementals are in it, right? The fire elemental and the candy elemental are both in it. And their elemental natures aren't really totally revealed until much, much later on. But Flame Princess is obviously far too dangerous. Like, it's revealed in this that PB is the one who had her locked up in the Flame Kingdom.
Yeah, because she knew she was, physically unstable.
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense, but it does sort of point to like PB being a little pragmatically cold-hearted.
Yeah, because also she's got a brother that's a little unstable, and she just locked him under a tree.
True.
So she's really into just locking people up when she can't deal with them.
That's I think maybe a thing. Like I said, PB might be a bad guy.
If her and Marceline's kid have ASD, she is gonna be fucked.
Can they have kids?
Yeah, why not?
So Marceline is a half-demon vampire.
Yeah.
And Princess Bubblegum is living bubblegum.
Marceline turns into mists, goes up into Princess Bubblegum, and inserts herself into her bubble uterus.
Bubbleless.
Yeah. And then that's it. Then 9 months later, horrors. 9 years later, H.P. Lovecraft's vision finally hits the world.
Bubble Thulu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I do have a new segment I'd like to introduce.
I would love to hear it.
I'm going to call it, is that a butt plug?
That's funny. I said the exact same thing when I got it. No, this is a dollar store lava lamp that was in my.
Oh, look at that!
I went to my friend's house for Christmas, and she gave me some what I would call in my Polish background tchotchkes. And this is. But we both laughed, and I'm pretty sure that's why they bought it. Is because it does incredibly butt pluggy. Yeah.
It's uncomfortably. Pointy.
It's like, and the thing is, it doesn't like any part that unscrews is all the way at the bottom. So you could insert and it would be fine. I feel like you probably need more airflow though, so it doesn't get stuck like that story of people with the Coke bottle. Like,
you'd want to lube it for sure. Okay. Well, that was the end of our new segment. Is that a butt plug?
Yes, and tonight's answer is no butt. Is that butt spelled with 2 T's? I'll let you find out. Eric, I would like to direct you to tell the audience where they can find us.
All right. Well, Alex and I, we have a YouTube channel.
We do.
And our YouTube channel is the repository of a great deal of WizBiz related knowledge, including our episodes, our TikTok stuff when we make TikTok stuff, our Twitch videos, our Twitch streaming videos when they are good.
Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, I would like to tell everybody, there is Alex Playing the Legend of Zelda is on our YouTube, parts 1 and 2.
We also have...
But wait. Part 3 got fucked up and will never post. So I apologize for that. I can't imagine you're going to be so vested in it that you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to... Yeah, I beat Ganon. It wasn't that hard. But there's your answer, just in case you're there. I felt bad. I was like, should I delete the first 2? Whatever.
No, don't. But so anyhow, yeah, go check out our YouTube and see the cool stuff we're doing over there. It's... WizBiz Podcast on YouTube. You can also find us at wizbizpodcast.com, where there is a link to our YouTube channel and all of our amazing episodes. You can subscribe to WizBiz Podcast anywhere podcasts are found, including YouTube Music. Is that what the new one is called? So Google Podcasts is going away. Yeah, anyhow.
Yeah, YouTube
You don't
Music.
care about that.
And just on all joking aside, Eric and I have rearranged the behind-the-scenes stuff on WizBiz, which means that I have held my nose and I've now been checking and responding to our Twitter account. So if you're still on Twitter...
Oh, are you doing Twitter?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've taken I'm going to do social things responsibly and went, all right, fine, I'll fucking go back in. Mostly because I checked in and there's people like talking to us and stuff.
Really?
Like,
How's Twitter doing? Shitter.
It's fine. Somebody asked what you're playing in your guitar, and I said Eric's not here, but I'm pretty sure his go-to karaoke song is "Sucking on My Titties" by Peaches.
Okay, that's true.
Because I like the idea of you playing "Sucking on My Titties."
I went through a Peaches phase.
I think "Fuck the Pain Away" is the name of that song. Yeah. I think I looked it up, so I used the right one. Don't worry, I used the right song title on our Twitter.
I definitely know all the lyrics to that song.
That's the part that I define the music. Yes. So we're also on Blue Sky. If Eric didn't say that already.
Yes, Blue Sky.
And that's just about it. So yeah, we're places. So yeah, do that. And twitch.tv/WizBizPodcast. In fact, 20 minutes ago, we were going to start doing a game. So we're going to start.
We better do that now.
Yeah, we're going to do that now. So we'll see you in one single fortnight. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That ending was not believable.